Hey coin collectors, and welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today it's the 1944 Walking Liberty half dollar from the United States of America. You can see three of them here, and then you can see this other one down here underneath, and it says Australia on it. It says 1944, and there's an S on that. That's an interesting coin because it has the same S as the S over here on the Walking Liberty from the San Francisco United States Mint. And it turns out that in 1944, Australia indeed did have coins made at the San Francisco Mint during World War II. This is a florin coin, and you can see that on the back of it, it has a kangaroo, an emu, a crowned shield with 6 sections, each of which is a state of the Australian Commonwealth. And then down here at the bottom you can see the S in the 1944 for Australia. A florin coin from Australia is worth 2 shillings or 1/10 of an Australian pound back then. And there's one other thing that's interesting on this coin, and that is this U and the S on the front. And this is something that our armed servicemen did frequently when they would trade coins with people from other countries. So this US means it probably came from a soldier or a sailor coming back from the Pacific Theater who traded it with an Australian soldier. And you can see this is a silver coin. The Australian coins are actually 92.5% silver, and the United States coins are 90% silver from 1944. But because there's a little bit of a size differential, they're worth about the same amount in bullion value, $7 to $8, maybe a little bit more. Well, let's get to this 1944 Walking Liberty half dollar. And we can see Liberty walking to the left, a sun coming up, Liberty around the top, Liberty, and God We Trust here in the year 1944. And you can see Liberty's walking in these kind of leather shoes here. And then you can see the sun coming up. We tip it up on the edge and we can see it is indeed a silver coin. United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum here, half dollar here. And if there's a mint mark, it would be right there. And there isn't one on this coin. This over here is AAW for Adolf A. Weinman, who was the engraver of the back of this coin. At the 3 U.S. mints in 1944, they made about 50 million half dollars. The auction record for the San Francisco Walking Liberty half dollar is $40,800, which occurred on June 16, 2021 at a Stack's Bowers auction. At a Mint State 65, this coin is worth $325, and in bullion value, it's worth between $8 and $10. At the Philadelphia Mint, they made $28.2 million. And the auction record for a Philadelphia half dollar is $109,250. And that was for a Mint State 68 sold in 2010 at a heritage auction. And if you get one that's in really good shape, it's not going to look quite like this. You're going to have details in the face. You can see the flag that's furled around Lady Liberty's shoulder with all the stars and some of the stripes in it. You'll be able to see the lines all down. You actually be able to see the really good details in the foot, the hem of the dress here, and this bouquet that she's carrying will have great detail. Additionally, on the back, you'll see all these tiny individual feathers here. The detail in the plants and the rocks on this much better on one that's in a mint state condition. At a Mint State 65, the Philadelphia Mint coin is worth $155. At the Denver Mint, they made almost 10 million of these. And the auction record for a Denver Mint Walking Liberty half dollar is $57,600, and that was a June 2021 Stack's Bowers auction also. A Mint State 65 from the Denver Mint goes for about $155. Now these coins, as we look at them, we see there's not a huge amount of detail on them, and that's because they get worn and they were used very frequently. We don't use the half dollars much anymore from the United States, but in 1944 you certainly did use the half dollars, and they were much more valuable in terms of what they could buy. You could certainly buy a meal for a half dollar in 1944. So when you're looking for coins made at the United States Mint in 1944, remember to look for these Australian florin or 2-shilling coins. Now, one thing you should know, though, is that not all of the Australian coins had the S Mint mark on them. They made 11 million of these in the United States at the San Francisco Mint, but they also made 22 million at the Melbourne Mint or the Royal Australian Mint. So about 2/3 of them were actually made in Australia. And of course, on the front of these, you know it's going to be King George VI. It says Brit Omrex, King of all Britons, Defender of the Faith. And in 1944, the King of Britain was still the Emperor of India. So that's what this is, Indimp, Imperator of India. And that changed in 1947 when India got its independence. And finally, in 1944, they still used the peace dollars from the 20s and 30s, and here is one of those $1 coins. They are big, kind of clunky coins, and they didn't do well in your pocket because they were so heavy. So that's another reason that a lot of people use these half dollars, because they were much easier to deal with, they were much less weight in your pocket, and they were much less bulky. All right, well, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.